Please, Bill Drummond and Jim Cauty. Bill Drummond and Jim Cauty. You see, that film actually runs for the best part of an hour, and we're keeping it up on that screen there, rolling as we talk. So why, Bill? Why?
There was a lot of reasons why, and there's still a lot. We're still discovering reasons every day. Jimmy came up with the best reason yesterday, though.
Which was?
Well, I was watching Top of the Pops with my kids, and Michael Jackson video came on for his hit, and I just thought we burnt it because we'd never be as talented as Michael Jackson.
We'd never be as talented as Michael Jackson.
That came up, and it just felt right for yesterday. But we change our ideas every day. We haven't come up with the definitive reason why we did it.
You see, those people are not, the people in our audience are not really tuned in. They think I'm kidding, they think I'm joking, they think that it's funny money or monopoly money or whatever.
It's dead serious.
It's actual money.
Yeah.
And is there a philosophy behind this? Is this sort of a denial of the material world or something? Is that?
No, some days it is that, but it's not really that. You know, we could have done with the money. We wanted the money, but we wanted to burn it more.
But if you burned $1 million, then you must have made 3 or 4 in your music career up to that.
No, that was the only $1 million we got, and when we've both got, you know, reasonable houses, and we both don't have to. We're not on neither of us on the dole at the moment.
And your wives and families.
Yeah.
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 How many kids have you, Bill?
I've got 4 kids.
And Jim?
I've got 2.
2. And what did you feel as you saw it burning?
Numb. I was on autopilot. You had to be on autopilot to do something like that. If you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about every 50 quid or bundles, because we were having to chuck bundles on, just because it was taking a long time to do, and we wanted to get back to the hotel, get some sleep.
You presumably had to go to the bank and get out £1 million, which is difficult in itself.
It was very difficult, yeah. We'd got $1 million out the year before, and that had proved very difficult. You know, the insurance, we had to pay £7,000 insurance just to have the money out of the bank for 3 hours. Because the NatWest Bank in Britain, who we're with, they'd never cashed a cheque for £1 million cash before, and they didn't want it to go out because they felt it was a danger to people's lives out in the street, because people were killed for £1 million, or £1 million is used for drugs or gun running or running off to Brazil or something like that.
And you gave up the music business at this stage. You said, that's enough, we don't want to know.
Yeah.
And you've no intention of going back to music?
Not at the moment, no.
But you might sometime in the future?
Well, there's always the possibility that we could if we wanted to, because, you know, it's something we know how to do.
But what you're saying is that if you really have a string of hits, it's terribly easy to make an awful lot of money in a very short time in the music business.
You can, yeah, you can make a lot of money. If people like what you do, then, you know, you make a lot of money. We made a lot because our records were hits all over the world, and we were in control of our own situation as well, so. But we wanted to stop when we stopped. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for wanting to stop, but at least we stopped before our records were useless records. Most people can only make good records for a short period of time.
Well, that's no particular reason to give up. I mean, if we all gave up just because we're not the best.
I understand you've been doing this for 33 years, and I was thinking, how can he, you know, but obviously you're still the best at what you do, but in pop music, you know, you've been doing the show for, you've seen them come and go,
I've seen them go, apart from Cliff, I suppose, with the exception.
And we thought, you know, it's better to get out while you're ahead.
So you went and took this £1 million and you started burning it. And you've been asked it 1,000,000 times, I know. What about all the people who want hip replacement operations, and old people and young people and handicapped people and kidney
you know,
transplants?
obviously we thought about that, you know, and we're not a charitable organisation. We thought that you know, there's plenty of people who want to give money to charity. We wanted to do something that we found more interesting with the money.
More interesting?
Yeah, more interesting than giving it away to charity.
I think of all the people who are in need of help in this country, and your own country, millions of them, and they're so badly off and so on. I think of the kids down in Cork at the moment who are starving, fasting through the Christmas period in the centre of the city in order to raise money for the homeless and so on. And a great number of people, including myself, must be looking at you both and saying, what kind of weird people are you?
Yeah. Hang on, there's no...
I'm not being unfriendly.
I know that.
Yeah.
People, if we'd gone and spent the money on swimming pools and Rolls Royces,
Yep.
I don't think people would be upset.
No.
It's because we've burnt it
Yes.
that they're upset. And, but we actually think, we found when we've been going around and we've been asking audiences, is there anybody in the audience who would like to burn £1 million or had that feeling in them sometime? I don't know if there's anybody here tonight, but we found people that have burnt wanted to burn £1 million.
You wanted to burn £1 million. Yeah.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
Refreshing. The
Why?
whole idea.
Why?
Money is just money. You lose the idea of purpose in your life. You know, to draw on your own resources. I mean, take an SAS course, live on maggots. It's good for you. You know, it makes you more resourceful, innovative.
Okay.
To not rely on money.
Brian behind you, who sacrificed his 20 quid. That's about as far as you're going, Brian.
Don't worry, I'll get that back from you later.
Oh, you think you will? I knew there was something I wanted to say to you.
Isn't the fact, the reason why you did this, because you've got egos that could no longer be satisfied in the music industry, and you wanted a way to become something big, and to be the first people to burn £1 million would get you into history, and it is just satisfying their egos, and at least admit that. Be honest, I believe that is the reason. Be honest and admit it was a publicity stunt that would get you in the newspapers.
Of course we've got egos, you know, haven't you got an ego?
Yeah, but not as big as yours.
Okay, maybe that's because we were in pop music. Yeah, anybody who does in pop music obviously has a sizable ego, yeah? Mm-hmm. But if we wanted to do it as a publicity stunt, we could have done it as a huge publicity stunt. One of the ideas we had was to do it in front of kind of News at 10 cameras or
Whatever.
you know, whatever, front page of tab, it could be front page of everything.
Instead, they went to the island of Jura in Scotland.
That's where we did it.
And how many witnesses? You had Gimpo, your friend here, filmed it.
Yeah, and another friend called Jim Reed, who'd been working with us, and we said he can come along. He wrote about it and sold his story to one of the English broadsheet papers.
What did your wives feel about it then?
Well, there was a point before we did it that I kind of changed my mind and thought, hang on a minute, I'm not sure about this. And my wife said, you know, you better go ahead and do it, otherwise I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
So my wife was really into it.
And your wife?
It has caused problems.
I would think it has caused problems. Yeah.
From time to time.
I would think it has. And do you never foresee the day when, God forbid, your children may need a serious operation?
Oh yeah,
your wife
yeah, we thought about that. We know about all that.
That's part of it. Yeah. I mean, right from the beginning, before we ever did it, we knew that maybe 15 years down the line, one of my children, or one of Jimmy's children, you know, they've got something wrong with them. There's only one doctor in California, and it's going to cost X 100,000, and that's part of the thing you live with, and that's part of...
Yeah, but that, you know, you could easily spend that money in a couple of years anyway, and then it's the same thing. The money's going to get spent one way or the other.
But what are you looking for now? Why are you showing this film, and it's still running, there it is on the screen, why are you showing this film around in schools and building sites and so on? Is it to get people's reaction?
No, it's not to get people's reaction. I think a lot of people can get something out of it.
What?
Well, you look at a painting, you get something back from it, don't you? People look at this film, some people get something off it.
Well, I mean, looking at it right now, it could be just a furnace burning. Mm-hmm. It could be logs or coal or whatever, anything at all. So I don't know how you get anything from it. Yes. I think what you're generating amongst people is just sheer resentment, you know, and anger.
Well, we're not out for that. There'd be no point either.
It generates a lot of things in people's heads, and some parts of it is anger. Yes. Some parts of it is jealousy. Some parts of it is they don't understand it because it's pulling in a lot of different directions at once.
Line what there? Line 2. Hello, line 2.
Hi, good evening, Gay.
Evening.
I have 20 years service in the psychiatric service. I'm a qualified nurse.
Qualified psychiatric nurse. He's a psychiatric nurse.
I'm also a qualified behavioural therapist, and from watching these two lads, I've no doubt there'll always be plenty of work for me in the future.
Is that it, line 2? Okay, thank you. Are you offended by that?
No.
Not at all.
No.
You're smiling happily. Yes, sir. How are you doing? Sorry for limping a bit. I have a sore foot. Yeah.
People seem to be going on about the whole charity aspect of things, and that it could have been given to charity.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But generally, when people get £1 million, I don't really think that the people who get £1 million like, they're in an extreme minority, those who would give that £1 million to charity. People get the money, they get it for themselves, they earn it for themselves. So I'm just confused as to why it's anybody's business.
But, no, it's just that it seems to most people there has got to be a better use than burning it. Whatever the use is, there's got to be a better use. Even
if it's from an artistic point of view, I think what most innovative artists always seem to go for is something that hasn't been done before. Yeah. And nobody, as far as I know, has burned £1 million
Nobody
before.
has. Extraordinary.
So it sort of, it has its integrity that way, you know, and it's nobody's business really.
Okay, it's nobody's business. Hi.
I just think that they said that they created feelings of jealousy and anger.
Yes.
And why not create some positive feeling instead of negative?
How about that, Bill?
It does create positive feelings. In the places we've been showing it, there's a lot of people that are totally into it, and they can't even explain why they're totally into it, but they are.
But Bill, why are you collecting these reactions? Is there a video at the end of this, or a record, or a book, or something like that? Nothing. You're just collecting reactions.
No.
And Gimpo is here. What are you doing, Gimpo? You're just recording all
reactions,
this.
Yeah.
And what do you intend to do with the reactions?
Don't know. It's just for ourselves, really. Because I mean, we're going to so many places. Different people give us different reactions all the time. And when you do 20 places, you'll forget most of them, won't you?
But what are you going to do with the reactions?
I don't know. I may use them for a soundtrack for the film because it's a silent film.
I see.
They've given me the film now.
Okay. Yeah. Young chap in the white there, over in the front row. Yeah.
Their money on...
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Pop stars are renowned for blowing money on drugs, whatever. Like, they go through a lot, and that's just for an experience that lasts for a while. I want to ask, like, did it give you a physical buzz? Were you happy about it, or are you still happy at all?
Jim?
I think it's... I didn't get a buzz at the time, but now I think it's the best thing we've done, and it'll last for as long as we live. It's not going to go away.
Hiya.
Hi. It's not just the money issue, also in relation to your Turner Prize issue, and also a Bible of Dreams. Like, to me, I'm a fashion student in NCAD, so I can appreciate art, but all I can gather from that is it's grown-up men acting like little boys, and it's a publicity exercise, and that all you wanted was some publicity, just like Madonna or whoever else.
But you see, I would understand that if they did something with the publicity, but they're not doing anything with the publicity. They've given up the music business. That's it. You're just sort of...
Okay, what are we selling? What are we selling?
Well, why are you here then? The reasonable question. Why are you here on the Late Late Show?
I think we were invited.
Yeah, well, you were invited, of course. Yeah, because we wanted to have a look at you. But I mean, what's the purpose, Jim?
Well, if you're an artist and you make a work of art,
yes,
for some reason you want to share it with people.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Okay, let's leave it there. Sorry, I'll just take another phone call. Line 1. Hello, line 1. Line 1?
Hello, yeah?
Evening, yes.
Good evening. My reaction to that is happiness and contentment is in your head, not in your pocket.
Have you happiness and contentment?
It's not in my head.
Not in your head. You're not happy and content.
No.
You're not?
No.
And the £1 million burning it didn't improve that situation?
No, we weren't doing it to make ourselves happy. But, I mean, we're not driven trying to make ourselves happy.
And do you have in the back of your mind that if you decide to go back in the music business, you'll make another $1 million or $2 million?
No, we had our 15 minutes. I'm sure if we did music again, it wouldn't be sort of hits and commercial music. I don't think.
No, it wouldn't be, no. We've kind of done everything we wanted to do in the music business. And, you know, it gets boring doing the same thing.
Yeah, okay. I want to add a little more to this discussion now. Hold on, Dennis, for a minute, because I want to introduce people that you'll know very well indeed with a song called Can't Keep Away from the Flame, which is, these things are all cleverly planned, you know, can't keep away from the flame. Anyway.
It didn't even fill one suitcase.
Yeah.
Put it in the back of the thing, went down to this little airport, we chartered this little plane, and they didn't know what we got. The people on the plane didn't, you know, the driver. And all the time I was thinking we were going to be followed, but...
Absolutely. What's your reaction, Joe?
Mine?
Yeah.
I want to know if it was like a chemically induced decision to do it.
No, we were totally straight.
Well, I think a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic, personally. you know, people are different, you know, I mean, like, everybody, we're in a rock and roll band, and there's other people that would even argue the fact that Def Leppard are a true rock and roll band, having never thrown tellies out of windows and stuff like that, but to dispose of £1 million, if I was going to do it, I would think I would rather set up some kind of recording studio for the unemployed kids or something.
Something.
It doesn't have to go to Bosnia. It doesn't have to go to... I would, you know... I think you can make an artistic statement without, like, you know, that you can help people rather than just, like, waste it, you know.
I think we have helped people. We have helped people by burning that money.
How? It helps, it brings something into people's heads, and it helps them.
Yeah, but it brings it into their heads while we're talking about it on telly. They won't be thinking about it tomorrow.
Well, yes, they will.
But there'll be people still starving tomorrow. There'll still be kids that can't make a record.
That's beside the point. That's beside the point.
No, it's not.
It is.
Yeah. Okay,
this is like... If that's not beside the point, why don't you...
it's like newspapers. Today we read it, tomorrow we wrap fish and chips in it, and Tuesday you wipe your butt on it.
Well, fair enough. If people want to forget it, they can forget it. And I know this is a kind of a corny thing to say, and it doesn't really stand up, but seeing as you're talking about the kind of charity angle, or you could buy stuff. Us burning that money doesn't mean there's any less loaves of bread in the world, any less apples, any less anything. The only thing that's less is a pile of paper.
No, there could have been a little more. It's not less, but there could have been a little more.
More what?
More bread, more apples, whatever.
No, we didn't burn any loaves of bread.
No, but
we didn't burn any apples.
But you could have bought loaves of bread.
No, but those loaves of bread would still have existed. Do you know what I mean? There's actually nothing. There's nothing less in the world other than a pile of paper.
I used to talk to my dad like that when I was 16.
Well, I'm still talking to my dad like that, and I'm 42.
Did you and Rick know the music of Bill and Jim?
Some of it, yeah.
Some of it, yeah.
KLF as well, right?
Yeah, KLF, yeah.
What Time Is Love?
Yeah.
That was one of them, yeah.
It's one of the best songs I heard that year.
It was a good music in Europe.
Very good note using Glenn Hughes as well, by the way.
Good music, and you reckon they could go back into the music business any time?
Of course they could. They've obviously got the talent to do it. There's no time limit on anyone. It's not Logan's Run. You know. I mean, everybody thinks we're all supposed to die at the age of 32. But,
you are. That's the problem.
You tell me.
To be a proper rock and roll star, you need to die of a drug overdose.
No, there's no such thing as proper rock and roll. Rock and roll is music, not the lifestyle. That's bull.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't really agree with that.
You know? So
there's more people intrigued by this. Yeah, Jam of the Red Shirt.
They should be dead.
Kind of.
I'd accept that people would be shocked that somebody could burn £1 million, but if the two lads can produce a few records and make £1 million and they can afford to burn it, how can governments around the world allow people to starve if they can afford to burn £1 million?
Yeah, or what are you saying? That it should have been confiscated?
If those two lads can afford to burn £1 million, how can the United Arab Emirates and our government, who have a surplus of money and can afford to spend it on roads, allow people around the world to starve?
Yeah. I see the point. I think I see the point anyway. Yeah. Who's a gentleman with glasses up there, blue shirt? Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, I think it's disgusting that two people should be allowed to do such a thing with so much poor in this country and in the foreign countries. It's an absolute disgrace.
Their argument is it's their money. They can do what they like with it.
Yes, I can see that, but surely they have a conscience too.
Maybe they have. Hi. Hello, just on the edge here. Sorry.
Aren't you trying to sell the ashes in a case now?
Trying to sell the ashes, are you?
No, that was you must have seen that in that TV programme on British TV.
Yeah.
That wasn't us trying to sell the ashes. We're not interested in selling the ashes. That was a journalist who actually took the case off us and went around some art galleries to see if anybody would buy it. We're not interested in that.
Well, why do you have it in a case in the first place?
What, the ashes?
Yeah.
When we burnt it, we were going to leave the ashes there, and Gimpo, who's in the front row here, decided we should keep the ashes for some reason, as like a memento of having done it. But there's no important... They're as important as the tubes of paint that are left after somebody's done a painting.
Yeah, but usually you throw them out.
Pardon?
Usually you throw them out, don't you?
Yeah, but sometimes you keep something as a memento. Maybe like if you got a ticket for the show tonight, you might want to keep it. To say you've been on the Gay Byrne show. Maybe, I don't know.
If you kept the serial numbers, you could actually get the money replaced.
We know that.
We've been told that.
Everything except the serial
Incidentally,
numbers.
were you fined for destroying this currency?
No, it's not against the law to destroy money. It's against the law to deface money.
But not to destroy.
They think that nobody'd be mad enough to destroy me.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Jim, you're smiling all the way through this.
Really?
You're kind of amused by the whole thing. What's your reaction to what you've heard?
Well, I mean, don't forget that we've been touring around for the last 2 months, and we've heard a lot of different arguments. And people seem to get stuck on the kind of, the charity thing, the why didn't you give it to me, and it's, it gets more interesting if people can move on and see it as something else.
I mean, some people see it as like a burnt offering, and see it quite. I mean, I don't think we see it like that, or maybe part of us does or has seen it like that. But in the same way as people, for generations in the past would give a burnt offering. I mean, we even joked about it at the time, thinking any second now we're going to hear God say to us, "It's okay, lads, the ram's around the corner." But he never intervened.
Do you believe in God?
Of course.
Do you? Both? Mm-hmm. Do you think there will be a retribution of any kind for this? Do you think he would be angry with you for...
One of the phrases we used at the time, I think even before we won it, was by doing this, it's gone to the big bank in the sky. And...
kidding yourself, Bill. Kidding yourself.
Yeah, so when we die and we go to heaven, there'll be £1 million waiting for us, aren't there?
Okay. With interest.
Yeah, with interest. Yeah.
Think of all the